Okay, good morning and welcome everyone. We are delighted to welcome you to our information and recruitment drive session. This is one of our first sessions that we're having this year. Last year we had a virtual careers fair. It's somewhat similar, but this time we're looking at our employer partners doing a bit of recruitment during the session. The session will provide you with a unique opportunity to gain insight, explore career possibilities, and connect with the organizations that will be presenting today. I would like to start with a little information about our employability and career services here at REGENT Business School. Okay, a little bit about myself. I'm Nirmala Mudli. I'm the employability lead here at REGENT Business School. I've completed a postgrad certificate in education with Stadio. I've completed a Bachelor of Arts Honours in Psychology and a Bachelor of Arts in Psychological Counselling degree at University of South Africa and a Bachelor of Technology in Management at DUT. I've also done a project management certificate with DUT, and I'm a registered educator with the South African Council for Educators, a career guidance practitioner with the South African Career Development Association, also known as SECTA. And I have over 20 years of experience in various roles within the private and public sector, and this creates a foundation in providing professional career services to students and alumni. Some of the employability and career services that we offer at REGENT Business School. I offer one-on-one and group consultations, and these include career guidance and counseling, academic counseling, CV reviews, cover letters, LinkedIn registration and reviews, job search skills. I do mock interviews, interview prep, salary negotiations, workplace readiness, understanding business processes, entrepreneur guidance and ideation, and mentoring and psychological counseling, which is provided by James Sturdy, our counselor here at REGENT. The professional development events include webinars, workshops, masterclasses, our career events, career days, and events like this that you're attending right now. With regards to employment, we try and look at partnering with relevant organizations or key employers to provide you with internship and job opportunities or learnership opportunities. Also, there's free training opportunities with our partners as well. Does anyone have any questions regarding our employability services? You're welcome to raise your hand and I'll give you an opportunity to speak as well. Or as we go along, you're welcome to ask questions or put questions on the chat. Mohammed, you can unmute and go ahead and ask your question.
Hello, I'd like to find out, I see that PFK is going to be here today. If I'm a first-year accounting student, would I be able to sign up for articles for PSYCA?
I wouldn't assume it's from a first year. Usually they take students that are from maybe third year and their honors level, that doing their honors level. But I think if you stay online, PKF will give you more information on that.
Okay, thank you.
She'll provide more guidelines in terms of how they employ and what the requirements are in terms of where you are in your academic journey. All right. Some of the companies may, take at an earlier stage, etc. But I think, each company is different and they have specific requirements. So, so I think just stay online and liaise with her, ask her your questions, and I will be giving participants an opportunity to talk if they so wish to speak to the organizations involved. Any other questions? And Kosanati, you can go ahead, unmute yourself and go ahead and speak.
Good morning, ma'am. Are you able to hear me?
Yes, I'm able to hear you.
Thank you very much for this session. I have two questions. One is, how often will such sessions take place? I'm a postgraduate student at REGENT, based in Johannesburg. And two, is there any links maybe or to employers as well that may be looking for candidates? Thank you very much. Across career levels. Thank you very much.
Thank you for your question, Nkosanati. We will be having more sessions. This will be our final session in terms of career services for the year, but I'm also planning a one more mental health webinar before we close, which should be before the 15th or so. Just keep an eye out for emails that come from Employability, but I also have a seminar that's happening on artificial intelligence that's coming up on the 9th of December as well. So I'm just planning the advert, and I will send out the advert probably by the end of this week or latest on Monday. So you have more information about this event as well. It is on a Saturday. It is for around 2 hours, and you're welcome to attend that as well. Register and attend. But we will be having more career events and more relevant events that are aligned to what you are currently doing as well.
Noted. Thank you very much.
Okay. Are there any other questions? If anyone has any questions, you're welcome to put your hand up and I will give you an opportunity to speak, or you can put your message on the chat as well. Okay, so I did speak a little bit about what we do here at Regent in terms of employability and career services, you know, our consultations, our professional development and employment opportunities. Okay, so Pedro's, I'm just going to speak a little bit about Pedro's now. Pedro's is one of SA's fastest growing chicken franchise. They have more than 100 stores in less than 4.5 years, and they say that they've just started. Pedro's culture at Pedro's, and this I quote, at Pedro's, we value our people. It's the people who cook our chicken, the people who serve our chicken, and it's the people who enjoy our chicken. They strive to create a culture that is vibrant and positive, and to encourage and invest in their employees. Pedro's is all about enjoying the journey and having fun while sticking to what they are really, really good at. And it's the people, and it's serving great flame grilled chicken at great prices. More than anything, their culture is built around and aimed at benefiting people. Pedro's recognize that it's people that prepare and present their offering, and it is people that accept it. Join them as they spread their wings across the country and beyond. And some of the opportunities that Pedro's has include finance, supply chain and logistics, operations, human resources, marketing, etc. You would be able to view some of them on the Pedro's Chicken Simplify.hr website. So if you're keen on looking at some opportunities there, you're welcome to visit their website and browse the vacancies that are available. Pedro's is not able to be with us today, but they have sent us some lovely vouchers, and this will be part of our lucky draw at the end of the session. In Kosanati, do you still have another question, or or is that an old end?
It's an old hand. Apologies for that. It's an old hand.
Any questions about the opportunities at Pedro's? I'm very limited in terms of what information I have with regards to Pedro's, but I liaise constantly with the HR team there, and whatever positions that come up at Pedro's, they would send me an email and I would upload that on Regent Connect. So if you are not registered on Regent Connect, please do so. All our job opportunities are posted there, and you are welcome to apply via the platform. Another of our sponsors, okay, so another of our sponsors is ProTrends Trading. They're currently not employing, but when they do, they will keep us in the loop of what's happening there, and if they need any students to take on board. But they are suppliers of corporate uniforms, PPE, and promotional gifts. They've sponsored us a goodie bag of promotional items. Thank you, ProTrends, for your kindness. It's much appreciated. And if anyone's looking for any items in terms of corporate uniforms, PPE, or promotional gifts, you're welcome to look on the website and and see how you can provide support to ProTrends. Are there any questions thus far? Okay, so basically what the session is, throughout the morning, you'll have the chance to engage with the specific organizations that are actively seeking new talent, and you can learn available positions and the skills that they value. Try and make the most of this opportunity. When we have our presenters up on there, please feel free to ask questions and explore what opportunities that become available within these organizations. ProTrends is based in North Beach in Durban, and Pedro's, the head office is in Nandi Drive area in Durban, KZN as well. If you want more information on these organizations, you're welcome to Employability. Let me give you my email address there. Email me at employability@regent.ac.za. I will be the person that you will be emailing whenever you're using this email address. I am on Regent Connect as well. You can message me on Regent Connect. Nkosinati, you're welcome to speak. You can unmute and speak. Nkosinati, did you have a question? All right. Thank you for that. Okay, so basically, what I do at I gave you a gist of what I do at Regent Business School. I am here in the Employability and Career Services Department. If you need any assistance whatsoever in terms of your employment, you're looking for new employment, you need to understand how to approach organizations, or maybe you applying for a job and you need some assistance with your CV to do a review. I do mock interviews. So if you have, I invited for an interview, I'm able to say, do a mock interview sessions with you until you're comfortable and able to go and, ace that interview. I also, once if you're new in the workforce and this is your first job or newer to the work environment, I would do a work readiness consult, basically the do's and don'ts in the work environment, the dress code, behavior, communication, etc. So you're welcome to contact me, and ask for this assistance. It is available to you if you're a Regent student or alumni, although our psychological counseling is limited to our students only. But if you have any queries regarding your careers or general counseling, academic, you're welcome to reach out to me and I'll try and assist the best I can. Let's see, are we looking for time? We are a bit early. So what I'm going to do is I am going to introduce to you CSWE training and Empower Grad, so that if you have any questions with regards to, I know they are offering us some free training opportunities, etc. So there may be quite a few questions with regards to this. So CSWE training and Empower Grad, we have Karoshan Govender. He has his diploma on supply chain management and 10 years experience in the training industry with vast knowledge of skills development and BBBEE compliance. And then we have, you want to pronounce it, I know him as GJ. Dlamini, and he's graduated from DUT as a graphic designer, worked as an intern for UNG Fabrics, and was thereafter absorbed into the role of marketing manager for CSWE training. And he formed Empower Grad in association with a panel of qualified professionals. Thank you, Karoshan and GJ. GJ, if you want, you can go ahead and start. And I see Karoshan's not online as yet. He can join us as soon as he's ready. For those that have registered for the fundamentals of digital marketing, you're welcome to put your questions on the chat. This is part of the training that's provided by CSWE Training and Empower Grad. And from the fundamentals of digital marketing, that should take you onto the digital communications and graphic design course that they will be hosting to our students and alumni. Elizabeth, you have a question. Can I apply for internship with first semester modules for first year as a student? That would depend on the organization. Some organizations may take first year students, matriculants basically, who have no work experience for learnership opportunities. You just need to look out for those kind of opportunities that come around. Usually for learner internship opportunities, companies are looking for someone who has completed at least an NQF 5 qualification in most cases, but I think a lot of companies are looking for degree graduates as well for internship opportunities. If you are almost completing your qualification, then you stand a better chance of getting a position as an intern, but your learnerships can, a matric could be accepted in most organizations for that. I think with regards to that also, some companies offer work-directed learning. So if you are currently studying, and that would depend on what you're studying as well. So if you may be studying supply chain management and companies are offering you an opportunity for work-directed learning or work-integrated learning, where you get practical work experience in an organization, then with some organizations, it doesn't matter what year you are. But these are industry-specific or organization-specific as well. I hope that answers your question. Okay, you're studying a BCom General. Ideally, when you're studying a BCom General, you would have majors. Maybe you picked HR as a major, or maybe you pick marketing as a major. So maybe you could look at that and see which companies are taking students that are aligned to what your career goals are as well. Do you have any other questions? Let me see. Okay, Nancy, your question is, are students outside South Africa allowed to apply for these jobs, and does REGENT Business School help with work permits? I study BCom General. I think when you're looking at studying outside your country, and this would go for any organization as well, and in any country as well. Countries take on other students or other graduates based on a scarce skill. So if you maybe, hypothetically, if IT was a scarce skill, they're looking for something specific in IT programming or coding, that you have that skill, or maybe you're a an engineer, and they're looking for that particular skill, then companies are willing to apply and assist you with permits, etc., for relocation processes. But when it comes to the educational institutions would not be able to provide you with that. So if you are applying hypothetically to Pedro's for a operations or supply chain intern position, it would be up to Pedro's to assist you with that if they felt that they need that skill, and there wasn't that skill available in South Africa. So if you've got a skill that's scarce and it's much needed, then companies are more willing to assist you with permits, etc., for and employ you in a different country. Does that answer your question, Nancy? Okay. Are there any other questions? think for those studying BCom General as well, try and look at a major that's relevant, that companies are looking for. Nancy, you can get in touch with me on employability@regent.ac.za. I've uploaded my email address earlier. Alternatively, you can, if you're on Regent Connect, you can connect with me. I'm just going to share my screen quickly. I'm going to go on to Regent Connect before we okay, are you able to see my screen? Okay. All right. Okay, so basically this is the platform that you will be registered on. It's here for you to network. I upload jobs here, and all the events are uploaded here. So anything that's happening at REGENT Business School is uploaded onto this. Well, most things are uploaded here. So basically what I do this year is, okay, so that's me. So if anything you see on the feed that's uploaded, you know, by Nirmala Mudli, so that's me. So you are welcome to message me on the platform, or alternatively you can send me an email at Employability. Now on the top, if you look at your screens when you're online, and if you're using your mobile phone, try and change it to a desktop setting. Sometimes you're not able to see icons or links to the next screen. So if you click on the screen, you'd be able to send me a direct message from that screen. Then we look at our feed. So the feed is basically anything I need to upload. So if I want to upload this event that's happening here, I could just, as a general information and tag everyone, I could do that, and you would get a message from there. Or if I upload a job and tag everyone, you would get an email stating there's a job that's been uploaded. The directory here is if you want to search for your fellow students, you studied with someone, you want to get a hold of them, you can just put enter the name there and search for them, and you're able to, if they are not registered on the platform, you can always send them a message or invite via Facebook and tell them you would like to connect with them. Then we have our mentoring. Our mentoring program will help you to to connect with mentors or mentees and assist. If you're a mentor, you can assist mentees. And if you're a mentee, you can connect with somebody that's relevant to your field and ask for assistance there as well. You don't always get sorry, I just want to respond to a question. So you don't always get the correct fit because students have not, or alumni and students have not updated the profile. Ideally, you want to keep your profile updated. So if you have graduated, change your status to alumni. You know, if you are in a position to help someone else, you know, mentor someone, you know, just give advice. You know, somebody may have just started working and don't know how to you know, find the way through. You know, maybe they just need a little bit of guidance there. And if you're able to provide that, then join the mentoring program, or I do have a mentoring group available as well. And you can, you know, upload information on the feed as well. And the feed here, the main feed here as well. If you scroll down, you'll see students as well upload motivational items, or even if you have a job in your company that someone's looking for, or they have an internship opportunity available, You can upload that on the feed, or you can send me an email on employability@regent. This is our job board. I upload jobs here for students and alumni. So if you're looking for a job, you're welcome to apply via this job board. You can just click on the position, and then you would click apply there. But this as an email address as well, so you can apply there. And for those looking for BCom article clerk trainee accountant experience, this is in Durban. So if you're welcome to apply, send your CV to that company as well. Photos will be for events and adverts that are held at Regent. And then we have groups. I've created a mentoring group. I've created an employability training internship job opportunity group as well. So if you want to be part of the group, you're welcome to join the mentoring group as well. If you're looking at mentoring opportunities, I am looking at creating a program that will provide mentorship training to students and alumni. So if you want to be part of that as well, you're welcome to join the group. It's still in a planning phase, but I'm hoping to hold a program next year where I would train students and alumni to become mentors. It'll help you to build your confidence. It'll help you to succeed where you want to. It'll change your thinking. It'll give you a platform to facilitate something, etc. So if you're looking for something like that and you're not working, or even if you are working, if you have the time, you're welcome to join the group, and let's see how we can help you. Our events board, we paste events there. So if I want to post an event, I can do that there. Then our business directory. If you're a student or alumni, you have your own business. Just say you opened a stationery store, or maybe you started your own business, you're making something specific and you're selling. Use this opportunity to market your business here. This is what the platform is for. So, and if you have difficulty in accessing this platform or the business directory, then just send me an email and I'll try and assist from my side as well. Right, so these resources are there for you. Make use of them. These are all old companies that we're on. I know a lot of students, I've spoken to students recently. We were at an entrepreneurship seminar as well. I've spoken to students, and a lot of them are running their own business or thinking of opening their own business. They have these beautiful, great business ideas. Use this platform, market your business. You never know who's looking for your product or your service. Right. And then the resources folder, a lot of students are looking for something specific in terms of employability. So what I did was I created a employability resources folder. I changed it to green. As you can see, all are in red, so that it's easy to view. And I've got here your CV templates with guidelines, and then all our workshops, unveiling gender disparities, resilience, mastering interview skills, tools and techniques for successful job search, PNET registrations, etc. So there's quite a bit here. There's your CV templates there, examples of ATS CV, design CV templates, instructions on a student CV. And then I've also included job search and applicant safety tips there as well. Okay, so that's basically the Regent Connect platform. Please join if you aren't already a member on that platform. All right, I'm going to hand you over to GJ. GJ, please pronounce your name for everyone. And yeah, welcome. Is Karoshan around?
Roshan is not around at the given moment, but he should be back in the next 5 to 10 minutes.
Okay, all right, that's great. You can go ahead and introduce CSWA training and Empower Grad.
Not a problem. Thank you so much again for the opportunity, and good morning everyone who's part of this webinar. So basically, I am Ginoake Dlamini. That's how you pronounce the name. Ginoake Dlamini. I work for Caesar Training. I am a media and a communications slash marketing person. So, and I do also branch out to help with recruitment, managing of the learners, and just to help where I can. So I did prepare a few slides for Sizwe. I just want to quickly share my screen. Am I able to share my screen?
Not yet, GJ. You can just try again.
Apparently, it says here, host disabled participant screen sharing.
Okay, let me just. Okay, try now.
Okay. Okay, now I can.
Okay.
Okay, so yeah, as I was saying, thank you so much, Neumala, for the opportunity to be part of this information session slash career drive. So just to give you a bit of like information about Sizwe. Sizwe Training was established in 2019. So basically with the sole aim, a private company with the sole aim to provide high quality accredited short courses, skills development programs, and also we want to offer you full qualification. So Sizwe Training is registered and fully accredited with your WNR SETA, of which is the whole wholesale and retail SETA that governs the whole of wholesale and retail sides in terms of like training, making sure that all the qualification are as per the guidelines and the standards set by the SETA. We also have accreditation by FP and MSETA, of which is your food production and manufacturing SETA. And also we have accreditation with your QCTO for mostly your qualification, so that you make sure that the qualification you're offering to the learners is accredited and it's in line with what's currently trending or happening. So we also offer additional skills programs like your visual merchandise. So skills programs are mostly for people who did not complete your matric most of the time, and they're just looking to up their game and get into the employment sector. And then Sizwe Training basically is an excellent focused organization. So we pride ourselves in making sure that whatever we do, we try to work as a team. We try to collaborate with also other companies as well. Like we are having this relationship with REGENT. So yeah, so that aligns with all our products and services. So excellent focused organization that aligns with all our products and services, and also to national standards that are set by the South African Qualifications Authority, of which is the SAQA. So we just make sure that each and every time we run a qualification or whatever we're doing, it's in line with what's currently set as a standard by the ruling or the governing body, of which is the South African Qualifications Authority. So I'm just gonna quickly, oh, sorry, I'm seeing here that someone can't hear me properly. Can you hear me now, Ayanda? Okay, I'm gonna try and hold my mic as close to my mouth as I'm speaking. So just please raise a hand if the problem still goes on. So just to also brush through our services. So Sizwe Training, we offer a wide range of services. Some of them are outside of the training and development space, like your HR services, like your discretionary grants for companies that want to claim from the SETA. But I now want to focus on these three core ones that are also in line with what we're currently doing or what's currently. Okay, Neumala, can you please Excuse me.
Hi,
Uh,
yes.
Yes, can I just take 5 minutes? I need to
Okay.
move boardrooms, yes.
All right. Okay. Not a problem, TJ.
I'm sorry for that. Just 5 minutes.
That's okay. If anyone has any questions in the meantime, you're welcome to put that on the chat for GJ or for myself. If there's anything that's employability related that I can assist you with, please put that on the chat or raise your hands and I'll try and assist you the best I can. We do have some giveaways like Pedro's vouchers, meal vouchers. We have ProTrends, a promotional gift hamper. We have a Take a Lot voucher as well that's being sponsored. And we have by PKF, and we also have CSWA Training sponsoring some memberships on Empower Grad. We will do a lucky draw at the end of this. I will put in upload an evaluation form at the end of the session. And you can upload your information on that form and I will get back to the winners. I will send an email to all and let you know who the winners are of these giveaways.
Hello?
I can hear you, JJ. Go ahead.
Okay. Thank you so much. And I'm really sorry for this inconvenience.
All right.
Okay. Okay. So I was here on the services tab, as I was saying. So CSWA Training, we do have a whole range of services outside of the training and development space, of which includes your HR services, also your discretionary grants for companies and the works. But for this session, for this seminar, I wanted to only focus on these three main or key ones that I think will be also vital to share with the audience that we currently have. So we have our skills development programs, of which mostly these ones are prepared for people that either have matric or they weren't able to finish matric. So what happens with the skills program is you just need to actually, what happens is you need to actually be someone who's willing to learn, someone who's willing to actually try and gain a new skill, try and learn new skills, because we know currently in our economy, your matric is like your
DJ, we are losing you there. Can
don't
you?
have
We seem to be losing you. If you could just check.
we hello.
IGJ, we can.
Okay, everyone can hear me now. Oh, okay. So I was then explaining our work integrated learning programs, or what you call commonly known as an internship. So we also do have work integrated learning, of which we basically facilitate by having a group of companies that we have strong relationships with. So with these group of companies, what we tend to do is we recruit learners for internships or for work integrated learning. So that's where you now apply what you've learned in an academic setting to a workplace. So we work with these different companies to try and then strategically place students in terms of like what they studied, what their skills, and what the organization is currently looking for at that current moment or that time being. And also our work integrated learning programs, they range for a duration of 12 months for college and your university students. And then for TVET, it ranges to 18 months as per the government standards. So if you are a college student like Regent, if you are a university student like your DUT or your UKZN, you can then take part in our work integrated learning program for a duration of 12 months. And then we try and shy away from your standard or your traditional way of how people implement or run internships. So our way is that we hand a student what we call a logbook. So when you apply for our work integrated learning program and then we accept you and then we enroll you on the system, what happens is you get a stipend while you're part of that program. So it usually range around 3,000 to 4,000 as per the different qualifications, like your diploma, your higher certificates, and your degrees. I know for a degree you get 4,000, and then for diploma going down, it's 3,000. So, but what happens is when we place you in that company, you keep what we call a logbook. A logbook is where you actually jot down everything that you do on a daily basis. It has a timestamp. It also has like description in details in terms of like what were you doing. Also for us to see whether what you were doing falls in line with what you currently studied or what you are currently there to do. Because if we receive a numerous number of claims or complaints that students are being made to do other things that are not in line with what they've studied. So we try and actually lock that system in place to a point where each and every time you go to a workplace, you take a logbook with you, you log down everything that you're doing, and then we try by all means each and every last Friday of the month, we visit you in the workplace and then we check your logbook and then just to make sure that everything is in order. And then for our third offering, we have your learnerships for employed and unemployed learners. So learnerships also, they almost like your skills development programs. A learnership minimum requirement to be part of that program, you only need your matric certificate, your national senior certificate. So, and it doesn't really matter in terms of like what subjects you did. As long as you have your matric certificate, you are then able to take part in what we call a learnership. And also our learnerships, they range for a duration of 12 months. It comes also with a stipend of 3,000. So a learnership is basically a hybrid learning method where you are actually put in a workplace strategically so that at the same time, while you're learning while you're learning theoretical knowledge, you're also getting the practical exposure to the workplace and how the business is running and the works. So we try and structure it to a point where you work for 3 days, and then for the next 2 days, you are in class, you're learning. And all of these programs, upon completion, since they are accredited by WNR CETA and FPNM CETA and the QCT, all also with their SAQA, we make sure that after or upon completion, you do receive a recognized certificate of which you can take and go on to apply for full-time jobs, like on that specific field that you were doing the learnership or the skills development for. And then I'm just gonna also deep dive in depth in terms of like our programs. So when we have allocations for our work integrated learning programs or internships, we usually get it once each and every year at around March, April, May. But I'll be able to send Neumala all the necessary information once we receive all allocations, so that they'll be able to be put out on the Region Connect, and also I'll put it out on our Sizwe training social media pages and also our website. But for our internships, we do not allocate for each and every faculty or each and every learning field that is out there. We strategically look for those learning faculties that are currently like in need in the industries. So the companies that we work with, the companies that we host you in, we actually sit down with them. We specifically look for all those scarce skills that they're currently lacking within the business. For example, they're lacking people with information technology knowledge, or maybe they're lacking people in the marketing sector. So we just sit down with them. We collect all that list of all the position and skills that they're currently looking for. And what we do, we then structure down our internship programs in terms of what are we going to apply for and what are we not going to apply for. So usually we go for information technology, because we know the world is changing and technology is ever advancing. So IT is going to be a very, very growing field. It is currently growing, but there's a lot of possibilities that are going to happen. There's a lot of growth. There's a lot of hope, with also your AI coming in on the side. So we also look into business administration. So if you have a degree or diploma in business administration, we can be able to offer you an internship. If you also have a qualification in marketing, we do also have our internships in the marketing sector. And also if you have public relations, your human resources, and also logistics. So this is just a refresher of like the kind of faculties that we look into when we're applying for these allocations. And then also when we're offering out to students that are looking for their work integrated learning. So if you studied these fields, your information technology, your business administration, your marketing, public relations, human resources, and logistics, you are 100% able to apply for one of our internships. They range for 12 months and then they come with a stipend. And then you also do have to keep that logbook so that we know that you are learning and what are you learning, whether is it in line with what you've studied or not. And also we do have a different or a variety of selection when it comes to our learnerships too. So our learnerships, we have your generic management, of which basically preps you for your more of like an office setup where you can end up becoming your receptionist, your admin clerk, your personal assistant. So they work on your human skills, how to actually interact with other humans on an emotional, intelligent level, how to actually treat people in a corporate environment, how to handle yourself, how to actually maintain yourself and all of that. Even the language that you actually speak when you're inside there. So generic management covers that section. And bear in mind, this is available to also someone who has matric. So if someone who has only matric, and you're looking into getting into the employment space and get yourself employable, It's really something that you all should be looking for. We also have what we call also the NC, it's National Certificate. We also have the National Certificate in Informal Small Business Practice. So informal small business practice, basically what we do there, this one is mostly for people who aspire to run or they do run or own their own businesses. And they want to learn more about how to run it, how to manage it on a day-to-day basis, like balancing your books and your stock taking, implementation of cost prices and all of that. So informal small business practice, it looks specifically into those sections when it comes to your entrepreneurship journey. So it can be any type of an informal business, even a street vendor, that is still a business. You can be part of this learnership. You can learn more about how to actually maintain that small business of yours. And then we also have our national certificate in wholesale and retail operations. So wholesale and retail operation, basically, it's the retail industry. That's where you find your visual merchandise, where you actually get all the knowledge or you get taught all the knowledge around the wholesale and retail space, of which is your retail stores, your visual merchandising, how to actually maneuver that whole space. And then last but not least, we have our clothing manufacturing processes. And this one, it's offered by our FP and MCTA accreditation. So also if you're someone who's looking into going into the clothing manufacturing space, so it can be shoe, leather, and the other mediums. So if you have that eye for fashion, if you're keen in terms of like learning about clothing and manufacturing processes, this one is really for you. But once we have allocations and then once I have learnerships and internships that are available, once again, I will share all the links with Neomala. I would share all the artworks with Neomala. She'll be able to then blast it on the REGENT Connect group so that everyone can apply. And also, so CISO training is located at 130 Felix Dlamini Road in Overport. We have our offices here. We do have a learning center too. You can also get in touch by giving us a call on this number. You can also write us an email, or we also have a link to our WhatsApp community group. So if you are looking into getting an internship with CISO in the near future, so a WhatsApp group is also part of our communication platform. So if you are also keen on being part of that, I'll paste the link on the comment section so that everyone can enroll themselves. But yes, CISO training, we are really, we're really ready and happy to help you with whatever help you need when it comes to learnerships, when it comes to your internships, and then also skills development. And again, guys, this information can also help a friend, a family member. It might not really resonate with you, but there is someone maybe who only have matric and they're looking into getting these opportunities. So just please make sure that you spread the word, you let the people know that there are opportunities, even if you have matric, even if you don't have matric. We always try to empower people from all sections of life. Even if you have your degree, even if you don't have a degree, it's fine. You can still try and upskill yourself and upskill your skills you learn or you hone your current skills. So I'm just gonna quickly, while I'm here, I'm just gonna quickly paste the link on the comment section for the WhatsApp group. So basically, once I receive allocations, we'll then be able to blast it out on our social media. If you can't see it on the social media, it'll be on REGENT Connect. If you can't see it on REGENT Connect, you can also join the WhatsApp community group. And also it's over there. We also have a LinkedIn profile if you want to check that out. I'm just gonna quickly share this link. while I'm sharing the link, do you guys have any questions you would want to ask me about the learnerships, about internships, about skills development programs? I know for your guys are graduates, and so for you, internships is the language, but you can always share this information with a friend, with a family member. It can help a lot of people. I'm just gonna-
GJ,
Yes.
while we're waiting for questions from our attendees, let's see if anyone has. And Kosanati,
Oh yes.
you can go
You
ahead
can
and
go
unmute.
ahead.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you for the, are you able to hear me?
Yes, we are.
Yes, I can hear you.
Thank you for the informative presentation, Lino. Very helpful. I work for MICT CETA. You're welcome to share your email address. I can link you up with our accreditation team because I noticed we are not listed under your CETAs that you have accreditation with. Yes. So I also wanted to just add, the nice thing about a learnership is if you do NPF level 4 1 year, the next year you can do NPF level 5. Then like the facilitator said, once you have a level 5, you can enter an internship program. And I wanted to ask, are you only based in Durban? And also your skills program, what is the duration? You mentioned the learnership is 12 months. What is the duration of the skills program? Thank you very much.
Not a problem. Thank you so much for the question. So I'm gonna start by, so yes, we currently in the meantime based only in KZN Durban, but we are looking into expanding. So as from early next year, we will have a representative in Cape Town, and also we'll have a representative in Johannesburg. So we will have people that are gonna be placed in those two areas, and then they'll be able to then push the message and then be able to establish our more like a formal base on those locations. So yeah, we are expanding, but for now we're still based in Durban Overport. That is where our head offices are located. When it comes to also our skills development programs, they usually range from, some of them they range for 3 months, some of them they go up until 6 months, and then some of them they do go up until your 12-month time frame. So they come in different time frames from 3 to 6 to 12 months. Then mostly it depends on the content, on the content that needs to be learned on that skills program. Like is it going to require candidates to spend like 3 months? Is it going to require candidates to spend 6 or 12 months? Like for example, we did our visual merchandise one, of which we tried to structure it in a 6 months period duration, where 3 months we did theory with the candidates, and then the next 3 months we did then your practical, where we also have one of our partners, of which is UNG Fabrics. So UNG Fabrics, they are in the fabric and the manufacturing space, basically your home space. So what we do then, we try to then expose them in that environment, that now that you have this knowledge, now that you know about visual merchandise, you now can let your imagination go wild. Now you can try and let your designs come to life. And some of the installation that these candidates were able to put together were really, really awesome. So yeah, they range from 3 to 6 to 12 months, and it depends on the intensity of that whole programs.
Thank you. So, you, facilitator, our Durban office does handle accreditation. So yeah, like I said, I'll link you up with that office. We have an office in Durban, and so that we can also be added on your list of cities you're accredited with. Thank you very
Not a
much.
problem.
Do share your email
Thank
address.
you so much for that. Okay.
Thank you, Nkosanati, and thank you for that, GJ.
Not a problem. I'm just gonna paste my email on the webinar chat, and then I'm just gonna quickly look for that.
Okay, I've got a question from Elizabeth. What about Namibian students? Do you have anything available for them? Or are you looking to move outside of
So
KZN?
yes. So as I was saying, currently our base of operations is based in Durban, Overport, but as early as next year, we are looking into expanding into the 2 other provinces, of which are currently within or are landlocked within South African borders. So it's safe for me to say, for now, we're still going to service South African landlocked areas. Later on, we are looking into expanding to other parts of Africa and, share the knowledge and share the experience. But for now, we are based within South Africa.
Okay, Elizabeth, we will keep you updated if there are any changes and if we are moving outside of South Africa, to give all our students opportunities. I know we have Swaziland students are also looking for opportunities as well. But if programs are going to be held online, we will try and see how we can accommodate those students. But these would depend on CETA requirements, etc. Am I right, GJ?
You exceptionally right. It will also depend on the CETA requirements, because they also have their own requirements in terms of like where can you run the programs and where you cannot run the programs.
Okay, thanks, GJ. I think we just have one question, GJ, with regards to the free fundamentals of digital marketing. I do have one student that says he had just finished, and instead of a certificate, he received a badge to place on LinkedIn. Now, is there a way that students can receive a certificate for this? If you need to find out and get back to me at a later stage via email, that would be fine. But if you could look into that, I think, and then also explain to students what the fundamentals of digital marketing is, how that filters into your digital communication and graphic design program, and what is the Empower Grad fees and what exactly students and alumni are paying for when they register as a member of Empower Grad.
Not a problem, not a problem. I'll get to the Empower Grad slide in a minute. Please repeat your first question. It was about a qualification.
Okay, about the fundamentals of digital marketing. I had one student that has completed it. He received 90% for it, but instead of a certificate, you sent me a copy of the certificate. He hasn't received a certificate. He received a badge that he could put onto LinkedIn. So if you could explain that to me, provide some feedback on that as well. Or if you need to check into that and let me know, that would be fine as well.
Not a problem, not a problem. I think I'll just quickly try and troubleshoot that one, and then I'll get back to you.
All right, that's fine.
Okay, I'm just gonna now quickly put up the link for the WhatsApp community group, and then I'll move to my Empower Grad slides.
Okay, we have about just over 10 minutes until we move on to PKF. Can you talk us through about the Empower Grad membership as well while you're doing that?
Okay, not a problem. So the link is on the webinar chat for CESA Training Community Group. you can be part of that group, and then whatever new updates that come my way, I'll be able to share them over that platform. Okay, I think that's it for CISO training. Thank you so much. I'll now be moving on to Empower Grad. Okay. So basically, the idea for Empower Grad started, if I could say, 4 or 5 months ago, and it was from a need of, it was from a concern where we were receiving a lot of students via CISO training. We were recruiting for our work integrated learning or our internships. And what we noticed is, and especially the TVET side, the students were lacking when it comes to those fundamental skills that the employer were looking for. So now we know that the world is changing, and most of the change is inflicted by the advancement of the technology and the whole media space. So what we notice is these graduates were not really fully prepped for the workplace, especially TVET, as I'm saying. They did not have the mindset that is now going to accommodate a workplace. So what we then decided to do, so as I was saying, so we saw that the job landscape in South Africa was experiencing a very significant shift. And this was mostly inflicted by technological progress or advancements, also increased global connectivity, and also the prominence of knowledge-centered economies. So we also found out that succeeding in this evolving environment requires a fresh skill set, commonly known as fourth industrial revolution skills, or what others may call it future-ready skills. So now these skills encompass vital attributes such as your critical reasoning, your innovative thinking, your effective teamwork, whether are you able to work with a group of individuals that are also from a different background of yours, also a different race and also a different gender. Can you be able to then be put with a group of people and you can work effectively with those people? And also one of those attributes, it speaks about adept communication. Can you be able to then pronounce yourself? Can you be able to communicate with other people in a manner that they are able to comprehend what you're saying and then also reply to you in a very, very, very good manner? And also digital proficiency and emotional intelligence. So what we then decided to do was, seeing that these learners were lacking in all of these attributes or proficiencies, so we also saw that acquiring these skills and these abilities is really essential for graduates to then maneuver around the complexities of your contemporary workplace or work environment, and also to stimulate their creativity, and also they make valuable contributions to the economy. So basically, as the world is changing, as technology is advancing, as your global connectivity is increasing, and your knowledge-centered economies are becoming more prominent. So what we then decided to do was, if learners had a chance, or if graduates were to have a chance in trying to maneuver this ever-changing workplace, this ever-changing 21st century workplace, they would then need to be able to have the skills: your critical reasoning, your innovative thinking, your effective teamwork, communication, digital skills, and then emotional intelligence. So hence, Empower Grad was born. So Empower Grad came with the main aim of bridging the gap in between your academia to now the workplace. So hence, back and forth. So now you have your degree, now you have your diploma. Now you need to move into a more of a workplace environment where you find people, where you need to then try and readjust yourself, because now this is a different environment. This is no longer where you're going to be theoretically, where you're going to be consuming more information theoretically. More of what you'll be doing now, it's you'll be practical. You have to apply it practical, in a practical sense. So through this experience, we then recognize that significant skill gaps among our graduates in comparison to the expectation of the employers. So as a result, we launched EmpowerGrad. EmpowerGrad is a centralized platform aiming to bridge the divide between academic knowledge and practical workplace skills. So part of the first program I wanted to run for EmpowerGrad was my graphic design and marketing course. As a graphic design and marketing graduate, and I've had not many years in the industry, but I've had a couple of years to try and learn the industry and learn about currently what is happening. So I saw that this course will be beneficial to mostly also marketing graduates. It's either you're employed or you're still unemployed, as you'll be expanding more of your theoretical training, because more of the education or training you would receive is theoretical. We now want to pair it with the practical graphic design skill, because I believe in that the more skills you possess, the more employable you make yourself to the employer. So the more desirable you are to employer. So also this will allow candidates to gain additional skill sets and then ultimately boost their chances of employment. And if already employed, it's going to keep you up to date with what's currently trending. And also you're going to be able to advance your career, because marketing and graphic design is ever changing, and it's mostly influenced, as I've been saying, by your technological advancements. So, but before you can enroll for the graphic design and marketing course, I ran what I call a pre-assessment. So a pre-assessment, you would then have to go into our EmpowerGrad website. You would then have to click on your fundamentals of digital marketing. So basically that is like a pre-assessment that is going to prep you, even if you are a marketing student, even if you're not a marketing student, you're looking into moving to a new space. It's gonna like roughly prep you for that space. It's gonna roughly prep your mind in terms of what to expect in the marketing space, what to expect when you are the marketing person. And then once everyone has went through the pre-assessment, then I will then bring out the graphic design and marketing course where we merge the two, so that whether you are the marketing brains, you can still be the guy who's going to do the artwork or the visuals, so that you're more able to perform more than one task. So usually a task that will require graphic design and a marketing person, but you as a hybrid now with both of them combined, you can now be able to perform the specific function. So basically that was the whole aim of this course. I'm going to troubleshoot the issue when it comes to the allocation of the completion certificates. I'm going to look into that. I'm going to get back to Neomala. So, and also I want to move on to membership. So we also have
sorry, GJ, if you could just be a little quick with this, I'll give you another 2 minutes. And then if there's any questions related to CSWE training and EmpowerGrad and the courses that are offered, please stay on if you can, GJ, and you can answer this afterwards. I'm going to, PKF will be speaking at about 10:40. So we got about 2 minutes before we end the session. All right.
Okay, not a problem. So for our memberships for EmpowerGrad, we only, so for your once-off membership, it will grant you access to this course. So if you take our once-off membership, you will get access to this course. But if you also become our recurring member, or you take our recurring membership option, You get access to our continuous learning and in professional development, access to our resource libraries, mentorship programs, networking events, and expert advice. So I've just recently launched a website. You can go over to EmpowerGrad, www.empowergrad.com. You can have a look over there. And also you can leave a comment. You can tell us how we can try and make that experience as much more user-friendly and pleasant as we can. So the membership fee is only 100 rands annually. So for the whole year, you pay 100 rand. And mostly that 100 rand will go towards our marketing needs when we're pushing the agenda and trying to push the message to as much people as we can. So on my giveaway section, I'm planning on giving 2 annual EmpowerGrad membership for 2 participants, but Neomala is going to help me with that. And yeah, I think that is where my presentation ends. So thank you so much once again, Neomala, for this opportunity. So if you are really keen on registering for EmpowerGrad, you can scan the QR code, you can visit the website. I'll put the link on the comment section. And then also when you're there on the website, please don't shy away from giving us feedback, what you think is not working, and also how we can try and improve the experience. Thank you so much for this opportunity. I'm gonna
Okay, thank you, JJ, and stay on. We may have questions regarding these training programs.
Not a
and
problem.
in regards to the memberships, the giveaway, I will be having a lucky draw. I'm going to send through or upload a link for the evaluation. All attendees will go in the draw, but ideally we'd like you to complete that evaluation form as well, so that if you've won a prize, then we will be able to get hold of you. All right. So thanks everyone for that. We now have Renee Clifford. Renee is the Human Resources Manager for PKF Durban, one of the largest mid-tier firms in KwaZulu-Natal. Renee has spent the last 4 years with PKF Durban, helping assist multiple young aspiring students achieve the dreams of becoming CAs. When she's not looking over the 100 aspiring chartered accountants, she can be found on the side of the sports field, supporting her 2 sons. Thank you, Renee. And we also have Jenna Kutsia here as well. Jenna, thank you for participating and joining us today. Over to you, Renee and Jenna.
Thank you so much for having us. We are very, very grateful to have this opportunity to chat to you guys today. I know it's the end of the year and everyone's pushing through, so I'm just very grateful for the opportunity. So thank you so much to Regent. It's exciting to be part of this. So I'm going to share my screen and then we'll go through it for all of you guys. So just to get to know a little bit about us at PKF, and we will have a little, little, what should I say, a little sort of questionnaire at the end, so you can win a voucher to take a lot, if that's okay. Fantastic. Can everyone see my screen?
Yes, I can.
Fantastic. Okay, perfect. All right, so we are from PKF. We are part of an auditing and assurance firm, so we're very similar to your Big Four. PKF is an international network of firms. So we actually sit in about 150 countries across the world. We have 214 firms, so offices in those 150 countries. And so we have a lovely network of firms. So we've got an amazing footprint. We're one of the top 15 firms in the world. We ranked in the top 10 in South Africa. And so we are really based in auditing and accounting. That is our predominant field. We then also do client accounting, compilations, so assurance engagement, and we offer tax services, business advisory, and in other parts of the world, we offer things to the likes of hospitality and corporate services to a variety of different businesses. So PKF is part of a massive network, and we have a really good footprint. Here in PKF Durban, we have been here for over 100 years. So we're really, really stable company. And we also are one of the biggest mid-tier firms in KwaZulu-Natal. So we are currently sitting with 270 staff, of which 105 are SACA trainees. So we're going to talk to you guys about SACA shortly. SACA, for those of you that don't know what SACA stands for, because it's a word we're going to be using a lot in the presentation, it's the South African Institute of Chartered Accountants. So SACA is very pivotal to what we do. And SACA plays a major role in ensuring anyone who is an aspiring chartered accountant, SACA works hand in hand with all firms across South Africa to make sure that we follow a specific guideline and standard to make sure that we have a high quality of chartered accountants once they have, obviously, qualified. The lovely thing about SACA as well is that we are one of the top rated, SACA is one of the top rated qualifications. So the CASA designation is one of the top rated qualifications in the world when it comes to chartered accountants. So to become a chartered accountant in the world with a CASA designation behind your name makes you a very lucrative employee to have. So it's really something important to get a link to and affiliated to. So what does it mean to be a CA? And guys, I think a CA, we call it the doctor of numbers. And I think it's very fair. You guys are going to hear shortly what it takes to become a CA. It's a 7-year program. For those of you that do know, you've heard this 1,000 times before, but those of you that don't know, you're going to learn quite a lot about what it means to become a CA. So a CA is somebody that is a chartered accountant. They have gone through a strenuous training process. They've gone through articles. They've done all their qualifications. And you're part of an elite group of individuals. And those people are very highly ranked in the world. And what's so lovely about becoming a CA is I think what everybody sort of to dispel the rumor of becoming a CA, everyone automatically thinks when you become a chartered accountant, you're sitting behind a desk with a green peak and a little computer or your little calculator, and that's all you do all day long. And I'm here to basically let you know that to become a CA means that you're opening up the world of opportunities for yourself. To become a chartered accountant, you must remember that the world runs with money. Money makes the world go around, and every business that you could potentially or think of needs a chartered accountant or needs an accountant to help run their business. And so from that perspective, a chartered accountant can be in any industry, in any business around the world. And because the designation is so specific and it's so highly recognized, the opportunities to go overseas once you become a CA are endless. And I'm going to discuss this in further detail at a later stage. But because the CA designation is so highly regarded, really what lands up happening is that we cannot keep people in South Africa. We cannot keep our trainees in South Africa because of the incredible opportunities that are given to them. It is a very tough qualification to get, so I'm not going to sugarcoat it for any of you. Those who are on the journey know how hard it is. However, that's why you have the likes of us as PKF who help guide you, put you in the right environment to get you to that point. So a CASA is an important designation. It can open up many doors, and you are not just limited to audit and accounting, and we'll discuss that in more detail. Okay, so what do you need to do to become a CA firstly? So the very first thing we always look at is you need to pass grade 12. And if you're at REGENT Business School, you've done that already. So congratulations, you've already passed the first step in the process. And that's very important. I think the one thing that everyone tends to forget is when you are in grade 12, you need to make sure that you have accounting or at least maths in your final marks and in order to get through to the next stage. The next part of the process is to do your undergraduate degree. Now, your undergrad degree needs to, and this is very critical, needs to be with a SACA registered education institute. So your degree needs to be recognized by SACA. A lot of the times students come out of high school, they go into a designation or qualification that's not recognized by SACA, and they end up having to do a bridging. So always check, and this is readily available on the internet, it's readily available on the SACA website, but you need to make sure that your undergraduate degree, your BAc degree, is SACA accredited. And that's one thing that Regent is. They are SACA accredited, hence the reason we're here today, because their postgrad is SACA accredited and recognized by SACA. So this is key and critical, because if you want to become a chartered accountant and you don't have a SACA accredited degree, you would need to then do a bridging course to get to the next step. So becoming a CA, it's the doctor of numbers. We call it the doctor of numbers. It's 7 years, guys, 7 whole years. So you're doing your undergrad, 1, 2, 3 years. Then the next step in the process is your postgrad. And this is where Regent has come in and done a phenomenal job with giving us, all our students, an opportunity to do their postgrad online, part-time, and it really works well for us as a firm as well, because we as a firm will take you on once you've attempted it. If you haven't passed it, that's okay, as long as you understand the difference between an undergrad and a postgrad. And there is a massive difference. And for all the aspiring chartered accountants out there is a huge difference. So you're going to have your undergrad degree, and then you're going to go to your postgrad. And there is a big shift, a big fundamental shift between the two. And that postgrad degree is quite a humdinger. It's really not so simple. It really will test push your boundaries. We are comfortable that if you've done it once and you have not passed, and that's okay if you've not passed, not everybody passes it first time, you can still then work with us and do it part-time. And this is where Regent comes in, because they offer an amazing program where you can do it part-time. So then you need to do your postgrad. It is either referred to as a PGDA or a CTA. So you can do CTA level 1, CTA level 2, but we would prefer you guys do it in 1 year as a postgrad degree. The next step in the process is to write your ITC board exams. Now, your ITC board exams, you can write, this is your first board exam, you can write before you do articles. There's no requirement other than you passing your PGDA and obviously your degree in order to get entrance into your ITC exam. So that's what we call your board 1 exam. So once you've completed your board 1 exam, you need to get articles. So articles needs to come into play. So this is where you start serving your articles. We would accept you from CTA level in order to start your article process. Your articles can be anything from 3 to 5 years, and that is very important. So your articles, you need to have done at least 18 months of articles before you can do board 2. And board 2 is the final step in the process. So if you have to go backwards and we have to take a look, once you've passed your articles, you've done your APC exam, you are then ready to register as a CA. So I'm going to show you the next steps on what it looks like. So first you pass matric, which you guys have all done, fantastic. Then you have your undergrad degree, which is generally a 3-year degree, your BAc. From there you do your postgrad. Once you finish your postgrad, you do your ITC, which is board 1. Then you need to start your articles at least from there. Once you've done 18 months of articles, you do your board 2 exam. And then if you pass that board exam, you need to complete your articles. Articles is 3 years. So that's where we say 7 years. So it's 3 years of your undergrad, a year of PGDA, if you're obviously doing it absolutely perfectly and you are an A student. And then the last 3 years is your articles. And during your articles, you'll write board 1 and board 2. So this is the base requirement. Guys, it's a long road and it's a hard road. And I'm not going to sugarcoat it for you, because unfortunately, CAs are highly paid people, and they are the people that make the most money, and they've got the big houses. And the reason they have all of that is because they've put in the hard graft and they've really worked hard to get to that point. So if you have big desires and big dreams, and you have a passion for accounting and a passion to have big dreams, this is very important to note, because once you get to that top of the table, and it's not achievable, we have a very big success rate with our trainees. At least 60 to 80% of them have reached the final step in the process, which is APC exam, by the time they leave us. And that is huge. That is a massive, massive achievement. So in order to become a CA, you must remember it's going to open a lot of doors, but there is lots of hard work in between. And if you put your head down and you do it, you will be more than willing or able to get to that point. But once you become that CA, the doors just open. Internationally, locally, you can go into a variety of different fields, which we're going to discuss with you shortly. So becoming a CA is by no means a small feat. It's climbing Mount Everest, but when you get to the top, it's oh so sweet view from the top. Okay, so what do you do when you're done with your diploma? So let's say you've done a diploma or you finished your PGDA. Now what do? Well, you need to start picking your field. So once you've finished your PGDA, you want to go in, you've now got to decide where you want to go. Are you going to go audit? Are you going to go accounting? Are you going to go tax? Or are you going to go management accounting? The CA of 2025 designation has changed completely. And so you need to align yourself with a firm where you would be able to fit into one of these portfolios. And we basically are a predominant audit firm, so we would focus on the audit side. So audits, what is audits? For those of you that don't know, it's not like SARS, but we make sure that everybody is in line. So yes, you have to be very accurate, very detail-oriented when you are doing audits. So what do we do when we audit? We review accounting records, internal processes, and transactions to ensure they are correct with the law, and the reporting framework is in line. So, you know, like anything in life, there's rules and regulations. So audit people come in and make sure that each company that they are auditing is in line with those rules and regulations. And that's what keeps everything in standard. There's a lot of corruption that takes place. So auditors have very important jobs to keep everybody on the straight and narrow. And then why do people use auditors? Well, the users of the financial statements, so the people that use the financial statements to get loans, to do tenders, rely on the opinions of auditors to give them the information they need to know about the firm. And that is very critical, because obviously if you're partnering with a firm, if you're merging with a firm or another business and you're trying to put two businesses together, or the bank wants to loan you money, they want to know that your business is running smoothly and somebody has reliably gone and checked that everything is above board. So audits have a very important role in keeping standards and regulations in place. And that's what we do. We have thousands of clients from a variety of different industries that we go in and audit. And that is what you will be involved in if you come to PKF and you join the audit team. You will start with that. But it doesn't mean that you're limited to audit if you are going to become a CA, because once you've become a CA, you can go in any direction that you want to do. So why audit? So you get exposure into all study fields. So you really do get to go take a look into financial statements. You get to review people's payroll. You get to review debtors and creditors. You get to test a variety of different fields and study fields that you would have actually learned during your studies. So while you're at varsity. So you have a really good exposure across the board. You will get a touch on tax, a touch on management accounts, a touch on financial statements, and you'll really get a good overall view. You also get really good exposure to multiple industries, and I cannot express the sort of absolute bonus that this is. I started my career out as a consultant as well in an HR field. And what it taught me is it taught me about a variety of different businesses and what businesses do and how businesses run. And I wasn't just stuck in one office learning one thing all day long. I went into a variety of different businesses. And this is exactly what audit does for you. You will go into hospitals, you will go into hotels, you will go into retailers, you will go into manufacturers, you will go into FMCG companies, you will go into a variety of different attorney trusts, attorneys, law firms, you will go into NPOs, you will go into schools, and all these different companies all operate differently. And you have the opportunity to go in and understand how each and every single one of these work. And to be able to do that for 3 full years and have exposure to a variety of different businesses for 3 years actually puts you in such good stead to understand what it is that you want to do with your life after the 3 years. Do I want to go into manufacturing? Do I want to go into retail? Do I want to go into farming, for example? And you will have exposure to all these different elements. And I think that's so amazing that you have that opportunity, you know, for 3 full years to really get good insight into different variety of environments to make that call about what the next step in your life is going to look like. And that's not something everybody gets an opportunity to do. The next thing is the opportunity after articles. I am just absolutely blown away from the time I started here by the opportunities available to CAs. My brother's a CA. I just assumed he became an accountant, he became a financial director, and Bob's your uncle, that's what he did. But opportunities to travel. If you have a green mamba, we call it South African passport, you know, there are companies around the world desperate for CAs. And they really, really want CAs in their businesses. And from that perspective, there are a lot of opportunities. We have my last 5 senior managers are sitting in 5 different countries. They're in Leeds, they're in Dublin, they are in the States, they're in London and Luxembourg. So all these different areas of the world. So it opens opportunities. We've got a lot of our trainees sitting in Brisbane. We've got some sitting in Amsterdam. We've got some sitting in the States, and we've got loads of them sitting in London. So the thing is that you have the opportunity. And what's so amazing is you don't have to stay in audit. I think that's something that I would like to dispel today. If you leave with anything today, is just know that you're not limited to just staying in audit. We've got somebody that's landed up in the entertainment industry in London. We've got somebody that's opened up her own a taste neighborhood business. And the reason that works so well is because she actually knows how to run a business. So she has a passion for baking and a passion for food, but now she can run her own business and know exactly how it's run. We have somebody that's landed up in a Formula One Mercedes team in a risk and compliance position because he's a CA. So there are these amazing opportunities that are available. You're not just stuck to auditing specifically or accounting. You land up in a variety of different environments. And I think that is something to really be considerate of when you are becoming a CA. Once again, I'm just referring to international opportunities. The opportunities are endless. You can also go into commerce. So they talk about commerce, which is going into manufacturing and becoming a CFO, going to work for big corporates and becoming a big part of their financial team or becoming a big part of their strategy teams, going into the banks, because CAs are a very sought after designation. So really important to note that your opportunities will be massive if you do decide to follow this route. And then the other thing is that it's an ever-changing field and environment. You know, businesses change from year to year. COVID was a whole different ballgame. So you're going to audit somebody's business this year. Next year, all of a sudden, their business is upside down. And the reason might be COVID. It might be flooding. It might be riots. It might be that they've merged with a new business. So it's never boring. Things always change up. It's always, and I think that's also another rumor to dispel, is that accounting is not a boring subject. It is so much that you guys can actually do with it. So it's an ever-changing field, ever-changing environment, and no 2 days are the same. And whenever you speak to somebody who really enjoys auditing specifically, the one thing they will tell you is that they enjoy the change up all the time. So no 2 days are the same. And then so those are the very key things as to why you want to go into an auditing sort of environment and do your articles in auditing. So why PKF South Africa? Why would you come join our team? You know, I think a big thing is that people have a lot of opportunity. They want to understand where they should go to do their articles. And we at PKF South Africa believe we are a very good option. We're being a mid-tier firm, we have a lot of different elements that make us a very attractive option. And the first thing is that we are a national team. So we have 9 offices around South Africa. So we have a good network and a solid network. We offer secondment opportunities. I currently have about 7 individuals going to London in January to spend 6 months in London to work for our London office. We also have somebody going to New York. And then I've got 2 individuals actually going to our PKF Amsterdam office, and they're going to live there on a permanent basis. So there are secondment opportunities. You can go for short time spaces of time. So you either go for 2, 3, or 6 months, and you go and live and work in another country. And you don't have to be there permanently. You can go try it out, get a little taste for it. They organize your accommodation. They organize your visas. You just go and work there, and you have the opportunity to live and work in another country for a short period of time. We focus highly on your training and development. You know, I always say to all my trainees that our biggest advertisement is them. And so from that perspective, I think it's very important that people understand exactly, you know, from a training and development perspective, it's important for us to get them across the line and to make sure they're quality training accountants. Because if they're not quality training accountants, it's going to reflect poorly on us. We also find it's very easy to complete your competency hours. So when you're on articles, you have 2 requirements. You need to complete your core hours, and you need to also then get your competencies. And so there's 2 major elements that you need to achieve during your time with us. And from that perspective, we really assist all our trainees. There's so much opportunity. We have a wide variety of clients. Nobody ever sits and doesn't achieve these elements. Okay, so I'm just going to take a quick sip of water, if you guys don't mind. Then PKF South Africa, a little bit about us. We have 9 firms. We're across 5 provinces. So 3 of our major offices are in Cape Town, Joburg, and Durban. We have over 950 employees. as well as 70 partners and directors, and then 370 accounting trainees. So we are a very large organization. We by no means small. And what's quite lovely about it is that, you know, each office has their own internal support system, and those internal support systems support each other. And that's quite important. So you get a little bit more of a personalized experience, as opposed to, you know, your HR sitting in a regional office and they're out in Johannesburg. Each office has a training officer. Each office looks after their trainees. Each office has a nice group of support that looks after their trainees to make sure that they make it through. All right. These are our values, and I think this is integral to any accounting. I think passion is critical. I always like to start with passion, and I always like to ask people, does this align with who you are? And so passion is so important, because passion really speaks to the fact that we are you're passionate about, sorry about my phone there. I just need to unplug it quickly. Sorry about that. Oops, sorry. There we go. Sorry, everybody. My phone's been ringing. So passion is very important. I think if you're going to do accounting, you really have to be passionate about accounting. You know, I don't think if it's not something that is in your heart and it's not where you are based, you might find this very, very difficult. But passion is very important. Teamwork, I think that is so super critical. You know, when you're doing audits, you're auditing as teams. You are working together to get to a common goal. And if you can't work together as a team, you won't get to that common goal, and you won't be successful. So teamwork is very important, and recognizing that you're going to work with different people. One of the things I love about my job is I watch individuals who come in who are not really used to working with people from diverse backgrounds, or don't have that professional skill set. And then through this process of working with new clients, working with their teams, they actually develop these amazing skill sets, these professional skill sets they never had before. And by the time they leave us, they're these all-rounded professionals, which is really amazing. Clarity, you know, it's very straightforward. We are auditors. We are in accounting. The numbers are straightforward. You can't mix it. You can't make it gray. So, you know, being open and honest and avoiding any kind of jargon. Clarity is so important. It's an important value for us to make sure that everybody knows exactly what to do, where they stand, how to do something. That's the standard, and this is where we go. Integrity is important to the audit profession. I think in South Africa alone, we have a lot of corruption. And so we need to make sure whatever we do, we're doing it inherently correct. And we also, I had one of my previous employers used to say, Derek Watts keeps me awake at night. So keeps them on the straight and narrow. And I think it's our jobs to keep individuals and companies on the straight and narrow in South Africa. I think the corruption stands to speak for itself. So it's important that we as a business make sure everybody is in line and does what's right. And then lastly, it's about quality. So a lot of the audit industry is defined by standards, by different elements that we need to adhere to. And so we have technical teams. We have a very stringent process and policies to make sure that we provide the best quality. So, you know, I always say, if you don't stand for something, you'll fall for anything. And these are our 5 key principles, and that we stand for and that we adhere to. All right. So training contracts, down to the good stuff and important stuff, is you can do a training contract with us. Our training, we are all accredited with SACA. Or depending on where you are in your studies, it can be a 3 to 5 year contract with your relevant office. And during that time, obviously, the most important criteria is that you would, depending on if you have a degree, if you don't have your undergrad yet, it will be 5 years. If you've got your undergrad and your CTA, it will be 3 years. And we will provide you guys with a practical component towards becoming a CA. So that is very, very important. So you'd basically take all your theoretical knowledge and we will help you apply it practically. So after your articles, once you've completed your articles, like I said, we have a wide network of firms. You can then go and do secondment. And I think that is quite important. So you would go and do secondment at one of our firms. But then, you know, the CA designation is important to get you overseas. If you haven't achieved that yet, you can probably do a remote secondment. But really what you want to do is have that CA designation behind you. So like I said, we've got 6 to 8, or I think 7 individuals going to London this year. We've got somebody going to New York, and they're all going to go for a period of time. What is the ideal candidate, you may ask? And I think this is a very important thing to note, is we want you to have attempted, like I've said before, CTA at least once. The reason being the jump from degree to CTA is massive, or your PGDA as we refer to it. So remember, there's an interchanging of CTA and PGDA. And I think it's so important because that jump is so big, and we have allowed people in the past to come in who were trying to do their PGDA for the first time, and 9 times out of 10, they don't manage. And so from that perspective, we want everyone to have at least attempted it once, and then we have a very robust study leave policy. So we would make sure that you had enough time, you know, up to 6 weeks study leave to try and attempt your CTA again. And by that time, you know what you're in for, you know what to expect, and you can study. We'll provide our offices for you to write your exams in. You can come study in our offices over weekends. And so really, we try and support you in every way possible. But also, what criteria do we look for when we are looking for a trainee? And we're looking for somebody who's a team player, so important, somebody who's passionate about accounting, someone who's got integrity, someone who's loyal, who's well-spoken. It's so important you engage with clients all the time, and that's very important because you need to articulate what you are saying all the time, and somebody who's obviously honest. And the most important thing is to have the right attitude, to want to grow and want to learn. Not without, oh, I don't need to know this sort of situation. You know, the right attitude will get you very, very far. And I always say to all my trainees is that you make your experience. If you choose to be a wallflower, you have a wallflower experience. If you choose to get involved, you choose to get stuck in, you will have an amazing experience. So these are key critical sort of elements that Jenna and I look for when we are interviewing for CAs or for trainee accountants that you're joining us for articles. So very important, how do you apply? Well, this is very good. When you're applying, you merge your CV, ID, and academic history, as well as your psycho qualification into one PDF. You don't send your CV in Word document, always do it in PDF format. This is very important. And then always add all the requested documents. So you can either apply via email, so Jenna's email address is here below, or you can do it on our careers webpage. So you can go onto our careers webpage, and then you can obviously apply via our careers webpage. So either send to Jenna, and when you send it to Jenna, you're going to have your CV, your ID, your academic history, and your undergrad certification, all PDF'd into one, and then your CV PDF'd as well. Please never ever send your CV out in Word documents. That is very dangerous. And then from there, send those 2 documents through to Jenna, or upload them on our website. You'll see under our website on our careers page, and you'll be able to apply from there. So that is the most important thing. There's Jenna's email. I think you guys can just take a screenshot of it quickly. We've got a handful of spots still left for 2024, but they are going quite quickly. So we would urge you guys to apply quite quickly. And then lastly, we want to open up for some Q&A. So does anyone have any questions? Okay. All right, so here we go. Do we have any questions?
Yes, see Mohammed, there's a question. Mohammed, would you like to speak? Can I, give me a second. Mohammed, you're allowed to talk, so go ahead, unmute yourself.
Good morning.
Hello, Mohammed, how are you?
I'm fine, thanks.
That's good.
The question I had was, Regent is accredited for its postgraduate, but not for undergraduate. And how would this affect my chances of getting an articles post at PKF?
So it doesn't affect your chances. It's just about making sure that you then do the bridging to get into. Okay. So if your degree you would possibly need to do a 6-month bridging to then get into the postgrad. And I think that's possibly what you would need to do. So I would just recommend we have signed people up for 2024, 2025, 2026. So we actually do sign up way in advance. We give you the opportunity to continue your study. So it doesn't impact your opportunity to sign up with us and to get articles with us. So please don't let that deter you in any way. This is a journey. So make sure that you just embrace the journey and just do your homework. If you don't have that psycho accredited degree, find out where your bridging course that you need to do to get into your PGDA.
Okay,
And-
and would I be able to study, would I be able to do my articles at PKF while studying?
We do have a select few individuals, so we are starting to build up our portfolio of individuals with 5-year article contract, and that means that you can study whilst you are doing your articles. Now, the big thing you need to understand, though, Mohammed, is that SACA is quite strict with our 5-year contracts. And what I mean by strict is SACA, and so how it will work is we employ you guys as a trainee, and then SACA contract runs concurrently with ours. So they run together like this. So you are required to abide by our rules as well as SACA rules. And so we run concurrently with SACA like that. And what ends up happening is with the 5-year contract, SACA has an academic progress rule. So this is very important to note. And if you fail 2 years in a row, we are required to cancel your contract, not on our basis, on SACA's rules. If you come in with your undergrad intact, then that rule does not apply. But if you're still doing your undergrad whilst you're doing articles with us, if you fail 2 years in a row, we are required to cancel your contract. So just be aware of that. That is a big, major sort of, red flag for those that want to come in while they're doing 5 years. But if you feel comfortable that you can work and study at the same time, we would definitely consider you.
All right, and I am assuming that if I get a 5-year contract and once I write my boards after I do my PGDA, that contract will reduce to 3 years from 5 years.
So there will be a reduction, but the reduction would probably be by 12 months. So don't expect a 2-year reduction. It all depends on how quickly you get it and how quickly you roll over. So I think the likelihood is that you could get a 12-month reduction, and in special circumstances, you can get a further 6 months. But I don't know if you would get more than that. I'm going to be upfront with you. I don't want you to come in and think, oh, I can get 2 years, scraped off, easy peasy lemon squeezy. But I do think you would be able to get a deduction of sorts.
Okay, thank you.
Pleasure. Is there any other questions?
Yes, we do. We have Nkosanati. Sorry.
No, that's fine.
You can unmute and speak, Nkosanati.
All right. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, Renee, for the insightful presentation. I would like to know. Are there any incentives, maybe around CSI, around career days, and also Saturday classes for your high school students, just to build a strong maths and accounting foundation? I know when I was in high school many years ago, we had that, but I'm not sure if it's still taking place at the moment. So
okay, well, let me start with the additional classes. I'll start with additional classes first.
Yes.
So we used to do additional classes until COVID hit, and we've actually ceased additional classes once COVID hit. So we used to actually do additional classes, 1 or 2 in high schools, but then we also did actually additional classes for our CTA students in the office on a Saturday. But we have stopped those. We have looked at and explored in terms of bringing them back. But at this stage, we don't have them in play. And what was the first question? If you can just repeat that for me.
No, it was around career days. Also inviting high school students from grade 8 to 11, where they can,
So we actually spend a lot of time. We have selected. We go to we obviously local in Durban. So we basically target a couple of high schools in the Durban area. So I know Kearsney does an annual day every year that we attend, and there's about 38 schools within that area that come through. And then we do target quite a few of the girl high schools and the boy high schools, and we are always willing to go into more. We have made an effort to get into more high schools and target more high schools. They haven't been as receptive, but we are always looking at going into high schools. We sponsor a couple of prizes as well. We sponsor, I think, 4 different high schools with their annual matric prizes. So either accounting prize or economics prize that we sponsor every single year. So we do spend quite a lot of time at the high school level. The difficult thing is, you know, a lot of people don't recognize our name just yet because everyone goes Big Four, but we do spend a lot of time on the ground actually going to the high schools, speaking to the high schools, trying to get in to actually speak to the accounting students specifically. But when COVID hit, there was not as a bigger response. We have gone into sort of the likes of the universities and gone down one-on-one sessions with them as well. But we're constantly trying to get out there to educate people on the CA designation, on what they need to do, on how they need to do it. So we do spend a lot of time at the high schools as well, but we would like to improve our reach. I think we're currently probably hitting anything between 40 in a year, but that would be considering that we are hitting at least 30 at the PK, at the Kearsney Day.
Noted. Thank you, Renee. Thank you, Jenna.
Pleasure. Thank you so much. Thank you for the question. All right. So we have a standard set of questions that we kind of always get. So I'm going to go take you guys quickly through it because I know that we have got, am I correct in saying 2 more minutes?
You can take a little longer if you need to, Renee. So yeah, that's fine.
Thank you so much. Okay, so we get asked these questions quite often. So let me just make sure that the questions come through. My screen has actually frozen. So let me actually take you through the questions that we normally get asked. Okay. So we often get asked, what will happen if I fail a year? So, you know, we always talk about what happens if they fail a year. So if a student comes and works for us and they're on a 3-year contract and they're doing their PGDA on their CTA and they fail, then all that happens is you repeat it the next year. So there's nothing that will happen to you if you're on a 3-year contract. As I explained to Mohammed earlier on, if you're on a 5-year contract and you fail 2 years in a row, your contract gets cancelled due to cycle rules. So if you fail a year, it's not a problem. You know, the most important thing is just to keep going. We always say to everyone, it doesn't matter how many times you fall down, it's about whether you get back up. The next question is, can I work and study at the same time? 100%. Of course, you can study and work at the same time. That's the purpose of articles. You're going to be studying and working throughout your article period in any case, unless you hit that sweet spot, which means you've achieved your CA designation at the end of your 2nd year, and then you don't study for the whole of your 3rd year. But ultimately, you'll be studying and working through most of your articles. So yes, you can work and study at the same time. And then what courses do I need to have completed before starting? So a lot of people do ask us, you know, is there any specific courses we need to complete? Like, do we need to have Pastel, Sage, Excel? And what I would recommend actually is you don't need Sage, you don't need Pastel, you don't need those to get entry into articles. But what I would recommend to anybody that's going into articles, regardless of where you go, is to clean up on your Excel skills. So start getting, you know, shined up on Excel. It's a program that is used widely in the accounting industry, and start getting your you know, getting into the basics, teaching yourself, because it's a tool that is often used. So it's not a requirement, but I think it would help you, and it would help your entry into articles as well. The next thing that we ask is what assistance is given for SAICA exams, and really that we can start with just our study leave program. For the SAICA exams, number one, we give robust study leave for all our trainees. So before they go into their Board 1 and Board 2 exams, we give a lot of study leave to them to make sure that they have enough time to prepare and get their heads in the right frame of mind. We allow individuals to come into our offices and study after hours, on weekends, and we also give them the opportunity to write any tests in our office uninterrupted. You know, there's no dogs barking in the background, no lawnmowers, and we are equipped for load shedding. So we allow them the opportunity to have a smooth test run, or to come and write any kind of exams or bring their study groups into the office, as well as they use our printers and kill a few trees to print out all their materials. And then, you know, we encourage study groups as well within the teams. One thing we do as PKF, and we're very proud of it, is when they're writing Board 1 and Board 2, we always do little study packs for them. So on the day, we're outside of the exam room waiting for them, and we are gifting them with a study pack. So that's a little gift pack just to get them through that exam on the day, with bar ones, sweets and chips, and some, no, not chips because they crunch and we don't want crunching during the exam, but just the Energade or something along those lines to help them along the way. And then lastly, what do we look for in a CV? I think, guys, keep your CV short and sweet. It doesn't need to be 7 pages. We look at hundreds of CVs all the time. So try and keep your CV to like 1 or 2 pages at most. We want to know about what you've done in your spare time. So besides school, do you run? Do you do art? Do you read? Have you done any volunteer work? Have you done any kind of church work? Have you done any kind of part-time work during varsity? Have you done any VAC work? Anything along those lines? We just want to know that you've done something outside of your studies. So we want to see what your interests are. You know, we don't have much to work with when we are looking at students. Students have studied and studied and studied. And so we want to know a little bit about you and who you are. And so if you can just put that little bit more extra detail on, that's very important. And a key critical sort of hint and tip for any student is please, please, please make sure you do spell check. You know, people will say to us, oh, I'm so detail orientated, and there's like 4 spelling errors in their CV. And your CV is a representation of who you are. Make sure you have somebody overview it critically. We sit back and go, sure, you know, this is your best foot forward to try and get articles with us. And if you can't make sure you spelled achieve right, well, we're going to have a problem there. So please make sure that your CV is spell checked. It's short and sweet and to the point. Where you did your where you've done high school, when you matriculated, where you've done your PGDA or your undergrad, a little bit about where you stay, where you live. Do you have a driver's license? Do you, you know, those type of things are very important. And then lastly, we get asked this question quite often is, do we do remote work? And to be honest, we found that remote working, it makes it very difficult to train individuals. Remote working is mainly for our senior people. We believe that training in person is 10 times more effective than training outside. So, or training remotely. People are too quick to put the cameras off, and we do find that we have a disconnect. And one of the things that we really lacked during the COVID period was the professional skill set of interacting with individuals. Your articles is not just technical experience. Your articles experience is we're training you how to conduct yourself in a business environment. We're teaching you how to manage people. We're teaching you how to have difficult conversations. We're teaching you how to engage with individuals. And those are all so important. And so really, you only get a good feel and learn to read people when you are actually with other people. And so for us, it's all about in-person, all the way through at the client, learning how it's done. So remote working is very limited for us. A lot of people will be like, oh, but you know, that's very narrow-sighted. But once again, we want to have top quality trainees. We don't want trainees who want to sit behind a desk and hide. We want people who want to engage and learn and better themselves. In the end of the day, it's so important. This article's experience is about what you get out of it in the end of the day. We're using you as a resource, as a trainee, as somebody who we are developing. And the only person that really gets the full benefit out of it in the end of the day is the trainee themselves. So really important for all the trainees to give 110%. And that's very critical. So I hope that helps, and I hope that gives you guys some guidance and some insights into the accounting and auditing profession and what you guys need to be looking at it. Okay, perfect.
Renee, just from my side, you know, I do get students asking, they've just completed the IS certificate in accounting, or they're in the first year in accounting, and they start applying for psych trainee positions. At what stage in their academic journey can they start the psych trainee program? And the second question is, what do you look for in terms of their academic record in, you know, the pass rate, etc.?
Okay, so we would, I would say, start applying between second and third year. I think that's quite critical. Second year is a little bit early, but between in your third year, I think start applying. So third year is probably your best. So your final year of your diploma or your degree is important to apply. So that would be my recommendation. Because at that stage, you need to start exploring your options. And as well, we then can book you in advance. So like for 2026, I see Mohammed's asked, would I be able to apply for 2026? 100%. Because we are taking in 2024, we're going to start looking at 2025 and 2026 as of 2024. So yes, you can start applying. And then in terms of the marks, that's a brilliant question. So I'm so glad you asked it. You know, it's specifically on the PGDA and CTA side, if you pass, That's amazing. Amazing. If you have failed and you failed by like, you know, within that for sort of 5-10% mark, that's not an issue for us at all. If you're failing miserably 20%, 30%, and across the board, then you're not grasping the concepts, and we don't want to push you into a realm that you're not going to manage. So with the marks, like academic transcripts, what we do look at is how quickly you've completed your diploma. So there's 2 reasons why you don't complete it quickly. One is financial, so you've done it over a long period of time, or 2, you actually failed for multiple years. So your length of the completion time, that's critical, number 1. I think that makes a difference. So everybody might have a bad year, that's absolutely fine. But when you've had 2 to 3 bad years and you've taken like multiple years, we take that into consideration. So please bear that in mind. But the marks themselves, you know, often people do quite well, some people don't do so well, but as long as you are passing and you steadily passing and you're consistent, I think that's quite important. Everybody falls off the wagon, but if you're very inconsistent and you're failing all the time throughout, that we're going to look at that differently. So the marks, we're not expecting 90s and 80s and 70s. That's amazing. We would love that. But we are also realistic that life happens and it's not so simple to achieve best marks. But we would encourage you to achieve the best marks so you can get the best opportunity. But yeah, so passing is very critical, and being consistent in passing. And those are the things that I would focus on. Does that help?
Yes, thanks, Renee. When I do academic counseling with students as well, sometimes they, you know, within the 50% just pass kind of rate. And I suggest they sort of like, and if that's in the first year, you know, and they got 2 more years to go, I suggest that they sort of build on that, you know, so that, you know, when companies are looking for students as well, they see that progress, because that also reflects their understanding in the subject matter as well.
100%. And I think that the big thing is that you're looking at somebody who's, you know, your marks don't just reflect a mark. It shows commitment, it shows discipline, it shows many other elements. And so when somebody has consistently failed over multiple years and it's different subjects all the time and it's very messy, then we're going to question that. So that's what we question. But if you are consistent and you are passing and you are sort of a steady Eddie and you're showing that consistency, you're showing that discipline, then we're going to be like, okay, well, we can take a chance on you because you've shown consistent commitment. And it might not be here, and you know, not everybody's going to perform at this level, but then you show that consistency of getting through every subject, and you're showing that understanding. Remember that we are here to train. We're not expecting everyone to know everything offhand, and so our job is to train them as well. But really, it's the inconsistency that for us is a problem, because it shows that there's a lack of either understanding or application or commitment or discipline. So it can be one of multiple elements.
Okay, thanks for that, Renee. I think with regards to the CV as well, I encourage them. I do CV reviews. So if any of you want to come in for a CV review, email me in employability at Regent, and I will be able to assist you with that. But also, when I do CV reviews, especially those who have finished matric and just started studying as well, you know, look at your schooling career, you know, what were your achievements there? And some people say nothing, you know, and as you probe there, you know, they've played, you know, sport, you know, they were part of some leadership committee, etc. They're volunteering in their church or their religious, you know, space. So, I suggest that they include all that, you know, to show that they are doing extracurricular activities, they are involved in other things besides their, you know, academic journeys and studies. So, yeah, so I think that's covers what we needed to. And just one more thing with regards to our accreditation on our BCom degree, we are currently working on it. It has become, you know, a priority, and we will keep you updated as soon as, you know, there's an update on that as well here.
That's amazing. That's so amazing to hear. You know, our students have really relied on Regent as well, in terms of their PGDA. So we are very excited that there's these options available. for them, and we have a lot of our students that are with Regent, and so for us it's very exciting that they have this opportunity to be with you guys and work and study at the same time. You know, not everybody offers it, and it's not all quality, and I think you guys do provide a quality service, so it really, and you know, for anyone that is doing it, I would highly recommend for them to stay with Regent and carry on at their postgrad with you guys.
Just one question on in terms of the training. Do you prefer, you know, or do you have logbooks that you use to do your training with students? Or
so how it works is they are required to complete with SAICA a competency. So there is like a logbook that they complete throughout their 3 years, where they're required to capture their competencies every single month. And then they get rated every single month on their competencies. So that happens every single month. So every single month they're required to capture their competencies, and they get rated every single month. So there's a list that they need to achieve by the end of their 3 years. And so that's quite important.
Okay, and this logbook, is that from SAICA or would it come from the institution?
Yes. So what happens is we put together a training plan, and that gets loaded onto the SAICA system. And then they would then be loaded onto the SAICA system, and they would have access to that system throughout their 3 years. And they would actually load it on an electronic system.
Okay, and is that a self-assessment or does?
Yes, so they would do a self-assessment. So for example, let's just use an example of you know, able to apply ethical principles in a work environment. That's maybe the competency. And then they would say, you know, I attended to client ABC on the 15th of November. During my time, client B approached me and asked me not to review these samples because they preferred us not to look at those specific suppliers. I then, you know, I then reported this to my manager, and my manager, and those samples were selected. And then that then gets reviewed by the manager. Yes, we happy, tick, you got that competency. And then they get rated on that competency, and that competency is then deemed achieved, if that makes it the right sort of example. Yeah. So they would then like with all the different accounting principles, they need to show that they've applied their mind in the work environment in a practical context when it comes to the different competencies.
Okay, thanks so much, Renee. I think this provides the students with a very informative, better understanding of the process that they would follow as well. You know, yeah, thank you for that information. I'm not sure if we have a question yet. Just give me a second. Sorry, it's not. Okay, so you did go over the question from Mohammed. Will I be able to apply for an articles post if I am in year 2 for a 2026 training contract? All right.
Yes, definitely, yeah.
Okay, all right. Thank you so much, Renee, and we still have GJ on the line as well. Thank you, Jenna, as well for joining us. I think this has answered a lot of our students' questions. You know, sometimes they come to you and you don't know the processes, because sometimes companies have their different processes in place when it comes to the accounting and SAICA trainee as well. You know, so I think this helps them a lot in understanding that what they need to do going forward. Yeah, thank you.
Okay. And I'm more than happy to help at any stage. So they've got our details.
Okay, all right, thank you so much. And yeah, you know, if you're having any events in the future, I'll let you know in advance. You know, we may have an on-campus event that was going to be planned, but I will keep you updated on that. If not, you know, you're welcome to attend our virtual events as well.
Oh, fantastic. Thank you so much. And thanks for letting us come and chat to the students today.
Yeah, and I think the attendance is a bit low, but I think, you know, people are, you know, finished exams and probably trying to relax and stuff like that. So I think in the new year we may look at another session specifically for the accounting, SAICA accounting, and you know, the programs and what is offered out there for them as well.
Perfect, absolutely perfect. All right, thank you so much.
Thank you, Renee, and thanks, Jenna. GJ, do you have any questions or?
Not a question, it's just an answer. So there was a question about a student who, yes, they completed the fundamental digital marketing course, but they certificate. So I've been going
You're
through,
quite soft,
exchange-
DJ.
Hello, can you hear me properly now?
Yes, I can.
Yes. So the problem is, so the Google Digital Garage is transitioning. It's no longer going to be the Google Digital Garage. It's now transitioning to Google Skill Shop. So I'm thinking it's that transition that some of the functionality of the whole system may be lost it may take like something around 2 to 3 days. So I've went through an article that was posted by Google. So they apologized for this transition. So within the next 2 to 3 days, they should be able to try and retrieve the certificate. But if that's not successful, then I'll follow up again. Just keep me updated on that one.
Okay, thank you, GJ, for that. Do we have any other questions? Okay, Jenna, are you still on the line? Do you all have something as a giveaway from your side? Just to confirm. Okay, so basically what I'm going to do now, I will conclude the session now. Thank you everyone for attending. I want to thank the speakers, the attendees, without whom this event would have not been possible and successful. I would also like to express gratitude to our sponsors, PFK for the Take a Lot voucher, ProTrends for the promotional goodies, EmpowerGrad for the free annual memberships, and Pedro's for the meal vouchers. All attendees will go into a lucky draw and will be notified via email. I have uploaded an evaluation form on the Google chat, on the chat here. Please complete that evaluation form with your details so that I can contact the winners as well. I hope the sessions contribute significantly to your career journey. And thanks once again for everyone for attending. And hope to see you all soon. And to the participants as well, you all made this quite interactive, and thank you for that as well.
Not a problem. Thank you so much again, Nilmal.
Thanks, GJ. Thanks, Jenna. And please tell Renee thanks as well. Nancy, you can send your details, complete the form that on the link that's uploaded there. And once the meeting ends, you will get a link as well. It will be emailed to you. So just stay online and complete the link. And I will do a draw, and hopefully I will send out an email by Friday. I'm not in tomorrow, so by Friday I will send you an update. Or if I have some time by this afternoon, you should get an update of all the winners for this session. Thank you, Nkosina T. And thank you for joining us as well, to all attendees. Okay, we'll end the session now. But we'll hope to speak to you all soon. Our next event will be a mental health webinar, and we're also having a seminar on the 9th of December. Information will go out. This is on artificial intelligence in the various industries. So information should go out by Monday next week. And then we will have a mental health webinar as well, our final one for the year, just to close off the year. And so thank you, all the participants. Thank you, attendees, and look forward to chatting to you soon. Recordings of the webinars will be on REGENT Connect. We will be uploading the latest webinars on REGENT Connect. So under the resources folder, you are welcome to view the folder and download and view these webinars. If there aren't any questions, I will be ending the session. Nancy, you can send your details to Employability at regent.ac.za. This is if you need CV reviews, you need career counseling, you need to make use of the career services that are offered. Alternatively, if you're looking at being part of the giveaway and the prizes for today, please complete the link that was uploaded. I'm uploading it again, so please complete the link to be in the draw for that. Okay, thanks everyone once again, and goodbye.